$47 billion in one quarter. Biopharma is completely losing its mind right now.
Losing its mind or just deploying dry powder? Gilead dropping almost $8 billion on Arcellx is just smart shopping.
Smart shopping? They immediately spent another $2.2 billion on Ouro. That's panic buying, Nate.
Well, it's moving markets. Almost as much as these Unilever and McCormick rumors. If that global spice giant actually forms,
I'll eat my hat. Or at least season it heavily. But before we hit the grocery aisle, we need to look at Gilead's receipts. The rundown.
Danone dropping exactly $1 billion on Huel. The French Dairy Kings are officially buying the beige sludge of Silicon Valley.
I read the filing. They are calling it a strategic entry into the premium meal replacement lifestyle.
Premium sludge. But $1 billion? Come on. That feels like a hangover valuation from 3 years ago.
Look at their revenue run rate before you write it off. It is actually a decent multiple. But sure, laugh at the tech bros. Speaking of tech, Ecolab is buying CoolIT Systems for $4.75 billion.
Massive. And honestly, a panic buy. Ecolab does water treatment and industrial hygiene. Suddenly they want to be an AI infrastructure stock? They're just chasing the data center multiple.
I completely disagree. Data centers are literally melting. You have Legrand rolling up KEDAC and TES right now just to keep servers from catching fire. CoolIT does liquid cooling for high-density chips. $4.75 billion is just the cost of entry in the AI era.
They are overpaying for the narrative? Tell me I am wrong.
They already had a deep partnership with them, Nate. It is a highly logical bolt-on. It just happens to be a very expensive one.
Expensive is the theme today. Unless you are in South Korea where nobody is buying anything. Hahn Co just offloaded their controlling stake in K-Car to a KG Group consortium for $830 million.
Which is notable mostly because it is the only major deal printing over there right now. Their buyout market is down more than 50%. It is a severe deal drought.
Macro uncertainties will do that. Though I have to point out, K-Car is an incredibly bleak name for a used car platform. It sounds like a background prop from a 90s video game.
Well, not everyone gets to be Rip City Rising, who just officially closed their majority stake in the Portland Trail Blazers.
I love that sports deals are basically just billionaires buying shiny toys to beat other billionaires.
We can debate the vanity metrics of sports franchises later. Right now, we need to talk about the absolute bender the biopharma sector went on in Q1.
$47 billion across 19 deals. Gilead alone spent $10 billion.
I pulled the footnotes on the Arcellx and Ouro acquisitions. The earnout structures they used are fascinating. The big one.
I just can't get over the sheer velocity of it. You look at the Q1 biopharma numbers, and it feels like an absolute fever dream.
It really does. $47 billion, 19 major deals in 3 months. That's a blistering pace even for pharma, and they're usually the ones keeping the M&A bankers in custom suits.
Hey, I feel personally attacked.
You should. But look at Gilead. They dropped nearly $8 billion on Arcellx. Fine. Big swing. We expected a big swing. But then they immediately turn around and write a $2.18 billion check for Ouro Medicines.
Which is exactly what you do when you're staring down a massive patent cliff. You buy everything that looks like a life raft.
Oh, come on. Over $10 billion in one quarter on 2 companies with overlapping immunology pipelines. I read the Ouro press release. It's entirely buzzwords about synergies. If you dig into the footnotes on their phase 2 trial data, it's basically a duplicate of what Arcellx is already doing.
It's in insurance voices. So I am looking at this morning's analyst notes, and they are painting a miserable picture of South Korea, calling it a severe deal drought. Buyout values are down more than 50%.
I saw that note. I think they are being dramatic. Hahn Co literally just offloaded their controlling stake in K-Car to a KG Group consortium for $830 million. That is not exactly couch change.
Maya, $830 million is a rounding error compared to what we saw there 2 years ago. It is a desert right now. The macro environment is totally choking off the big buyout funds.
Only if you're looking for mega cap targets. The mid-market is still moving. It just lacks the flashy press releases you former bankers need to get out of bed.
Ouch, unnecessary, but point taken. Let us pivot to a sector where the analysts are actually euphoric. Data centers. The watchers are pointing to Legrand buying up KEDAC and TES as proof of this insatiable infrastructure demand.
They are right about the demand, but they are looking at the wrong part of the stack. The real consolidation is in thermal management. Did you see the Ecolab headline?
The cooling company?
$4.75 billion for CoolIT Systems. Everyone is obsessed with who makes the servers, but AI chips run incredibly hot. If you do not have advanced liquid cooling, your multi-billion-dollar data center is just a warehouse full of melting plastic.
$4.75 billion for server ice packs. That is actually smart. Sell the shovels during the gold rush, right?
Exactly. And the margins on liquid cooling are completely absurd if you dig into the filings.
Well, speaking of things heating up, that was a terrible banker transition. But the gossip we are hearing in the food sector today is genuinely spicy.
Please tell me you did not just use a spice pun to tease the Unilever and McCormick rumors.
I absolutely did. Spill the tea. I can't stop thinking about this Unilever and McCormick rumor. If they actually pull this off, we're looking at the absolute Death Star of the grocery aisle.
It makes zero sense to me. Zero. Why does Unilever need Old Bay seasoning?
Because flavor is the ultimate margin pattern, Maya. You own the mayo, you own the spices, you own the entire sandwich ecosystem.
Have you looked at the antitrust implications? You put Hellmann's and French's mustard under one roof, and regulators are going to have a field day. It's just bankers getting bored because South Korea's buyout market completely dried up. Buyout values over there just halved, by the way.
Okay, sure, the deal drought is real in Asia right now. But food consolidation is happening. Look at Danone. They're dropping $1 billion on Huel.
Wait, really? $1 billion for Huel?
Yep, the Tech Bro meal replacement sludge is officially a unicorn.
I am genuinely offended by that valuation. I read their financials last year and the customer acquisition costs were terrifying. Danone must be desperate for the millennial demographic.
Or they just know where the growth is. Speaking of desperate, what is happening with Unity Group? Stock is absolutely flying because TPG and T-Mobile are supposedly circling.
That one I actually buy. Infrastructure demand is totally insatiable right now. Legrand just bought KEDAC and TES to double down on data centers. Anyone holding fiber, cooling, or power assets is getting premium bids.
It's the great telecom land grab.
Exactly. Which reminds me, we need to look at the waste management land grab tomorrow. GFL Environmental is supposedly closing in on a massive Texas waste operator.
Oh, I love a good garbage deal. We'll also be tracking the official filings on that $1 billion Crown Reserve SPAC merger with Carvix. Tomorrow's radar.
I'm setting an alarm for the SEC drop tomorrow. We should finally get the filings on that $1 billion Crown Reserve SPAC merger with Carvix.
You're the only person alive who sets an alarm for a SPAC filing in 2026.
Someone has to read the warrant structures, Nate. They always hide the dilution on page 200.
Fair. I'll be watching the trash business. GFL Environmental is supposedly inches away from closing on that major Texas waste operator. Cash flow in garbage is undefeated.
Undefeated? Their leverage ratio is already pushing 5 times EBITDA. If they pay a premium in Texas, that debt load gets completely ridiculous.
You hate leverage, but you love a monopoly. Speaking of, what are the odds we wake up to this Unilever and McCormick merger actually happening?
0%. Antitrust regulators would have a heart attack over the mayonnaise and spice aisles.
Oh, come on, think of the synergy. The ultimate global condiment and soap empire.
I prefer my body wash unscented by garlic powder. Watch your feeds tomorrow morning, people. We're going to be busy.